Welcome to another episode of The Human Behind It. I'm Dr. Meesh.
And I am Stephanie.
And we have another great episode for you. Today, our guest is going to be Chad Bushnell. He's a local country artist here in the area. So, well, we hope so. His baby is due any moment.
So, is it his first? Do you know?
I think it's his first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because it's rodeo season and he's going to be busy singing. But maybe not.
Maybe that baby's going to go see some rodeo. We don't know.
Yeah.
But that'll be a really fun interview for you guys. And what I wanted to talk about today, because I know it's not a show you watch, but Love is Blind just came out.
Okay. No, I've never watched it.
But you know the concept?
No.
Okay, so basically it's two people that can't see each other and they're talking through a wall.
Okay.
And then you keep dating people and then you can propose to someone and then you finally get to see them.
Ooh.
So you're proposing before seeing them. And they get, I think, about 2 weeks in the pods of like just...
So 2 weeks, no visuals.
No visuals.
Just talking.
But once you like get past the first group, you can just date one or two people. So you're getting like... I'm assuming like 4 or 5 hours a day just talking. So it's an accelerated.
Are we touching hands through a wall?
No,
or anything?
nothing. All you have is a voice. And then what's really cool is so then they propose. There's the big reveal. Then they go to Cabo for I think 3 weeks.
Oh wow!
And I think maybe it's not. Maybe that's just the. Okay, so they go to Cabo. Maybe it's a week, and then 3 weeks they live in an apartment together, and then they decide they want to get married. So, anyways, the premise of the show is that you're so vulnerable. You have these deep conversations because, hello, what else is there to do?
Right.
You can't touch each other.
No touching.
There's no kissing like that. When you have strong physical attraction, usually the not talking is because of too much kissing.
Too much smooching going on.
Yeah, so there's none of that. And so they're just forced to talk and get vulnerable. And it's interesting to watch because you have these people who are telling their deep, dark secrets to people they just met days ago. They say, I've never connected with someone like this, ever. And then they see each other. And that's always interesting.
Always.
Because I am not, like, you're more physically driven than I am. Like,
yes, very much.
Yeah, you're, like, very, like, if you were on a dating app, you would probably be swiping like crazy. I would give him a chance. I'd be like, well, let's read about him. You'd be like, nope.
I know, Michelle, I'm working on it.
But my point is, so if you put yourself in this position where you just connected with someone and, like, you say, I love you. You say, I want to marry you. You're like, this is my person. And then you see them and it's like, oh, what do you do?
There has to be some sexual attraction.
Yeah, but can it grow? So a lot of times when people see each other and they're like, that's not what I was imagining, or it's not not my type, they'll say. That's like the polite way of saying like, oh crap, that's not at all what I wanted. That's not usually my type. And then they're like, but I think it can grow.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Because I've known people that, I mean, you didn't think they're like hideous, but you definitely
it wasn't the person you picked them out.
Yeah, you found them more attractive as you got to know them.
And it goes the other way.
Absolutely.
I've been with some very attractive men that after time I'm like, you're very unattractive.
And sometimes that can happen really quick.
Yeah,
like in a matter of a conversation at a bar.
So true.
No, thank you.
But here's the part that's like the obvious stuff to talk about. But the thing that I find the most fascinating is that as soon as they get out of the pods and they meet each other, now they go to Mexico and then they live together, it seems like all the depth disappears. And the only way these people can actually be vulnerable and deep is without seeing each other. How much easier is it to be vulnerable if you know they can't see you?
Right.
They're not going to see you ugly cry. They're not going to see the face you make. They're like, it's like you're just a voice. And like, put yourself in a position where you're talking to your spouse. Imagine that you were in 2 rooms.
Right.
Wouldn't you be able to say whatever you wanted at that point?
Yeah.
It'd be so much easier because you can't see if they're reacting. You can't see if they're like getting pissed or crying or annoyed. Like you're
rolling
like, I'm just
eyes.
telling my truth. And I have no idea what's happening on the other side. So I find the show's flaw is that these people go so deep, so fast, and then they see each other and they have no skills to continue the depth when they can physically be in the same room.
Yeah. So what percentage do you think?
There are some that are still together. It's a small percentage, but I guess
that's I think with
every
any
dating show.
Dating show.
I would say it's equal to all the others. I don't think it's any more, any less. But I do think that there would be a benefit on the show to have someone teach these people or even have conversations prior to going on. Like, what's your communication like typically? Like when you don't know what it's like behind a wall, because whoever does that.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. There's no, it's not realistic because there's not like balance.
Not at all.
Like you're saying, if you meet someone and it just gets physical too fast, then you get caught up in that.
Yes.
And this is
the opposite.
The opposite where.
But then that, and so I think a normal response would be that they get very physical very fast, right? Because you're like, if there's attraction, you're like,
I'm on it.
I'm on it, right? Like they're like, let's get it on. But then what would normally follow that is like, oh, now I'm going to actually try to get to know this person that I can't keep my hands off of.
Yeah.
And now we have the reverse. And what happens is like, they've done all that. Then they get physical. And then it's like, well, where do we go from here? Like, we literally know everything about each other already.
So now what?
It's a very interesting experiment to watch.
Yeah.
But I wish that the producers would ask them ahead of time questions like, what is your communication style like? Because I think that it's a really tough skill, because these people are obviously youngish. So not bachelor young. They're not 22, but they're late 20s, early 30s. And
I couldn't imagine 22-year-olds wanting to do.
No, God, no. They're on Too Hot to Handle. If you haven't seen that show, that one's a riot. But yeah, I wish they would help them develop communication when you don't have the comfort of not having to be physically in the same room. And I did see one couple a couple seasons ago when they were struggling. They literally went to separate rooms and started talking behind a wall. So that's like how they got it together, right? Like they're like, we don't even know how to have a conversation.
Yeah, that could be hard because some people, like there's certain comedians, you don't want to listen to them. You want to watch them too. Physical. Because some of us are more physical with your expressions and...
Totally.
So I get what you're saying, where you don't see the bad parts of someone crying or rolling their eyes, but you're also missing like some of the maybe endearing qualities that some people have.
It would be similar to having a relationship by text, I suppose.
Yeah.
Except that you get a voice.
Well, and some people's mannerisms like are just annoying.
Yeah. I've watched like because obviously we see both pods, and you could see like one person telling like a story and the other person's maybe like starts like drifting off, and you're like, rude. You know? But they don't know.
No.
I'm like, hey, pay attention. They're telling an important story. But like Nick's done that to me, where I'm like telling something and then all of a sudden he picks up his phone. I'm like, hello.
Yes.
But I wouldn't know that if there was a wall. So and then they get their phones back when they get the apartment. And so now
that's going to change.
That's going to change everything. You don't know what someone's phone habits are. So
I'm saying not seeing them, you know, what if they do gross stuff when they talk?
I know.
They pick their teeth or pick their toes or I mean, there's so many. See? Who is the human behind the voice?
Exactly. They're very flawed. Because we all have our flaws. Who's the flawed human?
So they don't eat in front of each other then?
Nope.
Oh, no. Everyone has to eat in front of.
That's as important as living with and sleeping with someone before you marry them. You got to see them eat. That's a valid point.
Like, are you an animal or do you have manners?
I just think that it's very interesting to think about the concept of vulnerability without sharing a physical space. And I think we're downplaying how easy that is to do. Like, we're giving them all this credit, like, oh, we're being so vulnerable. It's like anybody would be.
Right.
If you removed. Like, I bet you if you had business meetings on Zoom and stuff and everyone turned their cameras off, that you would get way more truth out of people.
That's true. That's why you're talking about, like, phones.
Yeah.
With texting or DMing, you can be whoever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely an interesting concept. So they released the first 5 episodes, and then more come this week and so on and so forth. And I think it's like 10 episodes total, but it's fun to watch, but I'm looking at it from such an interesting perspective, I feel
I'm going to have to watch it. I'd be terrible. Like, that would be like my nightmare show.
Oh, yeah, you would never go on the show. You would never. I'd
be like peeking over. What are you doing over there?
The funniest part is when they do the reveals and it's someone that, like, because you're watching and you're kind of guessing, you're like, this person's not going to be into this.
Yeah.
Like, you could just tell. And then so you're like, can't wait for this reveal. And then they can't pretend. Like, they're just like, hi. Like, there was a thing I saw, like the top 5 most awkward reveals on this show, and oh my god, it's just so you feel horrible because it's like if one person is culturally more attractive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, everyone's attractive in their own right, but let's say socially acceptably attractive.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Sure. And then one is not as culturally accepted as attractive, and then they see each other. One's like, oh man, I hit the jackpot. And the other one's like, oh no.
I'm gone.
What did I get myself into?
Yeah, but like you said, sometimes if there's enough connection,
that's the premise of the show is love blind.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
I
based on the stats.
I say love is blind, dumb, stupid.
Love is all the things.
Yes. Has no idea what's going on.
But they would bet. Yeah. So Too Hot to Handle is cool because they get actual people, experts that come on and help them not focus on the physical.
On the physical, yeah.
And I think Love is Blind can really benefit from like a transitionary couples counseling session that's like, okay, now we have to learn how to talk to each other in the same space, seeing each other,
not through pods,
not through the comfort of blindness.
Yeah.
And can we do that? I think that would make the show a lot more successful, in my opinion. So it's a fun watch, though.
Yeah,
there's like 10 seasons, so clearly it's doing fine.
Yeah, I've seen it come across, but I've never. I don't know. There's just so many shows, dating shows.
I know, and I don't watch all of them. Like I love Love is Blind because I find it to be a fascinating human experiment. I love Too Hot to Handle because that's an even more fascinating because they're not allowed to touch or kiss or anything. And they're the hottest people on the planet. So it is just like raw sexual and like, and just like butts and boobs and like abs. And it's like nobody can touch each other and it's a disaster. And that to me is the best show on television.
So how do they get together?
So they earn the ability to touch each other by connecting emotionally.
What?
Yeah, they bring on like experts to help them connect emotionally, and then there's like tests that they have to take.
And then they can like smooch or
and then
grab
they can,
boobies.
Yes,
or something?
all the things.
Wow.
But it makes them like they actually have realizations of like, oh my God, I've been so sexually forward that I've like not allowed myself to actually connect to anyone ever.
Beyond the body.
Like I'm just so
blinded.
Yeah, like I can't help it. And on both sides, not just the guys, the girls too, leading very sexually forward. And I think a lot of that is because women feel like if they're very sexually forward, that men really like that. So even if I might have a shortcoming somewhere else, that's going to be ignored because I'm DTF.
That's why the other show, Love is Blind, was interesting.
It's the opposite.
If someone's relied partially on their looks.
Yeah, there's been a couple people like that.
Through, and then now it's not part of your
How good is your
package.
How good is your personality? And but there are some in there that will try to guess at features like, oh, where are you from? Trying to get ethnicities. You could tell by names sometimes, ethnicities. You can tell by voices sometimes. But then there are some that'll be like, so would you, like, are you athletic? You're like, okay, I see where you're going with this. So trying to hint at some of the physical cues, and some really stick to like, no, I'm not going to
give you anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you anything. So anyways, fun shows to watch. I love reality TV as someone who studies humans. I know it's not that real. Nick gets on me. That's scripted. It's not. I'm like, get off of me. It's fun to watch. Okay,
it's still entertaining.
It's still humans on camera. Yes. You're gonna get some rawness from that, scripted or not. So highly recommend. Give it a watch. Let us know what you think.
I'm going to now.
All right. Today we have Chad Bushnell with us, and he is a country artist whose career has been built the old school way through storytelling, live shows, and songs rooted in real life. He's a singer-songwriter blending traditional country, Americana, and faith-influenced themes, and he's earned real recognition in the contemporary country spaces with chart-topping songs and industry awards along the way. He's shared stages with some of country's music's most respected names and built a loyal fan base across the West by staying true to his sound and his values. But like we always say here, this isn't about the highlight reel. It's not about the charts, the awards, or the big stages. It's about the person who chose this road, what shaped him, and who he is when the spotlight isn't on. So today we slow it down and flip the focus from the music to the man, because beyond the songs, the sound, and the success, this is the human behind it. Welcome in.
Hey, how you doing?
So good. We're so glad to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
And we know you have something else on your mind right now besides this interview.
Yeah, tell everyone what's going on right now.
Yeah, we're getting ready to have our first child, my wife and I, anytime. So we're just waiting and ready.
If he bolts out of the interview, we know why.
Chad, I don't know if you guys plan this good though, because you're getting into rodeo season and fairs, and this is your busy time.
It's gonna be, yeah, about another month or two. It'll kind of get really busy. I took a little time off. We've been kind of working on the show. Obviously, having the baby, very excited, and it's kind of good to have some downtime for a month or two. The band we play a lot once kind of March, April hits all the way through November, December, really, and so a lot of times we take a couple months and try to work on the show. Always trying to change it up, make it better, and so.
Yeah, I told Michelle, I said, I know I've seen you play, and I can't tell you where because you hustle so much and play so many venues.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we could whenever too. We can talk about some upcoming shows in your guys' area. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
there's some coming up.
We'll definitely get to that. Make sure we do that before we jump off towards the end to make sure people can find you. But, we talk to people all over. In fact, we had a Nigerian artist from Africa. So we've gone pretty far, but you're actually right in our backyard, like not too far at all.
Yeah. Yep.
Been fun to hear about your success in this area. But let's just dive in. So tell us what made you want to be a musician. It's not an easy path, obviously.
Nope.
Yeah, I grew up, my dad played in a local country band in Red Bluff, and from the time I was like 3, I was always wanting to go to the rehearsals and just like kind of enamored by it. My dad played lead guitar and sang, and I loved the drums, the speakers, the guitars, everything about it. And also my great grandma played piano in church, and so at a young age I started learning to play guitar when I was about 4 or 5. I'd play with her at church and family functions, and so just kind of ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be in music. I did kind of grow up in a rodeo family, so I think my parents wanted me to do that, and I did. I competed in rodeo, but I just always knew music was my path. So
they wanted you to compete in rodeo? That's so dangerous.
It's so dangerous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We have a family member that does that. Jake's kids, don't they do it?
Yeah, some of our cousins' kids, they have them doing the mutton busting and stuff. It's so cute.
It is. It's like breaks my heart to watch. Does it look so dangerous? Flings them off.
I know. They make them get up and wave to the crowd and let them know they're okay.
Oh my goodness! I don't think I could do it as a parent. That would be so tough.
I know my parents,
you have a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I said I was a timey, so I did steer wrestling and team roping. My parents, they didn't really want me riding bulls because it's pretty dangerous. And
yeah,
my dad's, he told me, he's all, well, hey, do you really want to ride bulls, or you just kind of want to ride bulls? And I'm kind of like, yeah, you got a point. I think I kind of want to ride bulls. So he's like, okay, I don't think it's a good thing for you. So yeah.
I would imagine that's a whole different breed of person.
Oh my God, I know. That's what I was starting to say was, you have a kid coming, like what would you want them to do and not do in terms of the passions that you have?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens, possibly music or, my wife, she's really into writing books and reading, and we both grew up doing sports. So it's hard to say what she'll end up being into, but yeah.
All the things.
So when you're not making music, what else are you doing?
So, most of the time these days I'm playing shows. I also shoe horses, farrier. So
okay.
I do that. Yeah, I've when I went to Chico State, my dad's a farrier, and he had me shoeing about by the time I started Chico State when I was 20. And so I shot part-time through college, and I just kept doing that. I still do it a couple days a week, 2-3 days a week, and little extra income. And then I have a jerky business. I work with It's Jerky out of Reading.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So I have my own jerky through them. It's my little side deal. I really like it. And then spend time with family. I exercise and do house stuff, and yeah, I like to hunt and fish whenever I have time in between.
So you said you were pretty young when you started playing. Besides your family, who influenced you music-wise?
Man, ever since I was little, probably one of my most favorite country singers is Vince Gill. That's always kind of Vince Gill and Dwight Yoakam are two of my top 2 favorites.
Vince Gill's like my mom's favorite.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, I try to be, come off as like, tough and like the cowboy and stuff. But man, I went and saw my first time seeing Vince Gill in concert at the Ryman in Nashville. You ever been to the Ryman Auditorium? The Grand Ole Opry, basically. But man, I got in there and we were 4 rows from the front, and Vince Gill walked up and
Oh,
sang,
wow.
and I kind of was like, wow, kind of had some tears coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
but you know, when someone that means that, you know, it's my favorite country singer was right in front of me singing one of his hits. It was pretty cool. And I've yet to meet Vince Gill. I have got to meet Dwight Yoakam. I opened up one of his shows one time, and so
Oh, wow. That's
yeah,
great. He's a good actor too.
is he?
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. He's played little parts and he's good. He plays a good bad guy.
Oh, there you go.
4 Christmases. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
he was in Four Christmases? Oh, I don't know. I now have to look. I don't know who he is.
That's funny. There's a guy at our cornhole league, Larry, and he's always like, play Dwight Yoakam, play
Is
Dwight
he?
Yoakam.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't know if people want to listen to Dwight while they play cornhole, but we'll try.
It's gotta be
Yeah.
like upbeat, you know?
Oh, he does have some.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of an old soul. I mean, I think I'd probably done better in the 80s and 90s. But
Yeah. It's
but that's
definitely
the
a
kind of music.
different country now.
Yeah, obviously Garth Brooks too has been a huge influence since I was little. I do a Garth Brooks tribute. I don't know if you've been on my website, but that's something that we offer, and I do about
Oh, fun.
2 Garth Brooks shows a month, probably. So
That's
Oh, wow.
smart.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a smart way to get yourself out there, because that's obviously music
Mhm.
people know, and then they get introduced to you, and then you can, you know, they get to know you, connect with you, and then hopefully follow you to your other stuff.
Hmm.
yeah, it's
like
been
that.
great. I've been you know, I was doing my Chad shows for the longest time, and finally in 2020 I noticed, you know, people were doing the tribute thing. I was always kind of against it because I'm like, I want to do my own Chad thing, but there's an opportunity, and I called the agency one day, said, hey, in 2020 obviously had a lot of downtime. I was like, what do you guys think about me doing a Garth Brooks tribute? And they said, if you can pull it off, you know, put it together, present it to us, we could definitely book you if it's good. And so it took me about 6 months. I mean, I had to learn about 20 Garth songs. I had to obviously have a 5 to 6 piece band. It was a lot of work, and I mean, spent a lot of time learning those songs, like the record. And it's really cool because a lot of places will say, hey, Garth Brooks tribute featuring Chad Bushnell. And if it's around here, people kind of know it's me. I can still know merchandise at the Garth shows, which is huge. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so, you know, we really like doing the Garth thing in between. And then I can stick to kind of better Chad shows. That's what I like about it. We
Yeah,
don't have
no,
to
that's
just play.
good.
Yeah. We don't have to just play everywhere that, you know, we can kind of pick and choose. And yeah, so.
That's fun. Has there been a show that you've done that stands out in your mind as for good or bad reasons?
Yeah,
A
there's been
favorite?
some cool ones. I mean, you know, it's still the dream to have a song on the, you know, the radio on the charts, you know, at some point. But man, some of the stuff I got to sing on stage with Brian White. He was one of my favorite 90s country singers. That was pretty
Okay.
awesome. You know, something we can talk about too is I'm performing on a country cruise. It'll be my third
Oh.
country cruise. And it's April 11th through the 18th, 2027. So a little over a year from now. And it's out in Tampa. It goes to Mexico. And Randy Travis is going to be on there, Craig Morgan.
Oh,
And so
wow.
probably, yeah, it's really cool. The last 2 cruises I've got to do, I mean, those are probably some of my favorite shows because you're performing on the cruise ship in the ocean. You actually get to hang out with a lot of the country stars. I got to sing on stage with Daryl Worley on the cruise a couple of years ago. That was pretty awesome. So
Wow. I did not know they were even doing that.
I mean, cruises do everything, I think, at this point. You can go on, like, you know, probably a Harry Potter cruise, I'm sure. Something for everyone.
my wife would go on that. So I mean,
I do. I'll go with her. That's fine. Leave
Yeah.
the baby with you and we'll go.
It's okay. I'll go on
That's
Chad.
right.
then.
I'm actually totally lied. I hate cruises, but we can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter
It's only-
world.
that's the only time I've ever been on a cruise, and I got to go thanks to some people in Humboldt County where I played 7-8 years for their show. They have a thing during 4th of July. I did it like 7-8 times, and finally they're like, "Hey, we're going to get you on the country cruise?" And they go as a group of 20-30 every year. And
Oh, fun.
the cruise said okay, and so now I've been with them this will be my third one. So
Not a bad way to make money.
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
I don't know if
One-
I make money on that one, but
Okay, well,
I
yeah,
guess
that's
spend more.
probably fair.
Charge it
In
the credit
time.
card.
That's like a good to travel. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, one of the things we've been talking to a lot of our artists about is kind of the definition of success. You know, it's one of our guests brought up the idea that in music, it's like if you're not like, you know, Jelly Roll big or Taylor Swift big, then and then you're not like nobody, like there's nothing for the in-betweeners. Like he's like, if you made like 70 grand as an artist, people would think you're like a loser.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you.
But in some other job, you're like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like with your goals, what you said you want to be on the radio someday, and that's part of your goals and dreams. But like, how are you handling this artistry path?
Yeah, you know, so I mean, it's kind of a different game now. I mean, to be on the big radio charts like with Blake Shelton, and it takes some serious money. It's very political, and so that's why so many artists are independent these days, because you know most people don't have a couple $1 million to get on the radios, which is what it takes these days. And a lot of times, you know, obviously that's a label, or if you're independently wealthy and have $2 million, you could probably get yourself on the radio. Most people can't do that. So, you know, for me, I have my circle, and I mean, there's a lot of us that are independent, and we just do the best we can. I mean, for me, some of the stuff I've got to do the last 8 or 10 years has been like, man, if I don't ever get further than this is pretty cool. You know, I've got to play some really cool festivals like Country Summer Festival in Santa Rosa. I've gotten to do Kennedy Meadows Festival, which is a link I'll send you. That'd be a fun one for you two to go to. That's one of my favorite shows of the year. It's out in the middle of nowhere on this dude ranch, and we do this 3-day music festival. It's really cool. And so, I mean, some of the stuff I got to do, I kind of measure that like, wow, this is pretty cool. And you know, like I said, I shoot horses a few days a week still too for extra income. It's very hard as an independent artist. You know, you got to play a lot of shows if you want to play shows completely full time. Have you guys interviewed Max Minardi at all from Chico? He'd be a good person to talk to, and he's pretty much full time, does shows, and sometimes I'm just like, man, hats off, man. He plays a lot of shows every year, more than I think I could do. And you know, I can do about 80 to 100 shows a year, and then I shoot horses the rest of the time. I sell jerky, write songs, you know, and so yeah.
His schedule's full.
Yes, that is full. But I mean, if you're loving what you're doing and you know you're not burning yourself out, then I think that can be a really rewarding lifestyle. But I think some of the artists, they sacrifice their own health and sanity for the numbers, right? And that's when things get tricky.
Yeah, it's it's a balance. I really, you know, I like to have a good balance, you know, and just have the family life and the music life. And I think a lot of people are like that, because I have a lot of friends that some of them that are even like level above me that still do other other things too, and you would never know. And a lot of friends, they work construction. A lot of them do whatever, you know. So
yeah.
But you do actual like cowboy stuff.
He's authentic.
And you're authentic.
Yeah, you know, after my dad made me get my business degree at Chico, and I'm glad he did, but I still started shooting horses 2 to 3 days a week, just because it's, you know, the flexibility. I still get to work with horses. It's, you know, it's great. Everything has its pros and cons. But I get to play a lot of great shows every year, and I'm just really blessed. This is going to be a great year. We already have a lot of good stuff on the books. So
nice. Would you ever go on like one of those singing competition shows, like The Voice or American Idol might be? I don't know how old you are, but that one's.
I'm young. No, yeah, you know, I hate to say, I've tried out for The Voice 3 times, and I didn't make it on there. So finally, after the 3rd time, I just said, well, maybe it's just, you know, not for me to be on there. I never have tried out for American Idol. I was on American Country Star twice. They didn't. That's the one they didn't air though. That was after Nashville Star. So the 2nd year American Country Star, I was in the top 10 and got to be on the main showcase. And so, yeah, you know, The Voice, it's kind of what they're looking for the show. And finally, they wanted me back a 4th year to do a private audition, and I just said, you know, I've tried out 3 times, and you know, 3 trips to LA. And I said, it's too hard to go all the way down there, spend the money, and then they reject you. It's really hard to take. And you never know. I mean, I might try to get it at some point. We'll see. I don't know.
It's got to be so hard for country artists in The Voice. There's got to be so many.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I think because country music has kind of
evolved,
gotten really popified.
Yeah.
So now everyone's like, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
And we're like, get off.
The non-mainstream artists don't do well on those shows. Like, you have to be right in the lane of what people are listening to right now. The majority, the masses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of. I just wasn't what they were looking for the show. This was it the third time I tried out. I think that's when I made it to the private audition. They liked me. I made it to almost to the executive round, so that's the round before the audition. And I just wasn't what they're really looking for. I didn't really have the story they wanted, and so that's why I just stuck independent. I've been close to some record deals. I've been with some independent labels. I've done some like year or two long contracts with independent labels, but still a goal to get signed by a major label like Sony or Broken Bow or something like that. That's really hard to do.
Yeah,
though.
It's like hitting the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it's really tough.
What about your social media? Like, do you put a lot of time into social media?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, social media that's a tough one. I'm always, it changes constantly too, so I'm always trying to figure out what's, current. Social media has helped. I keep my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok up the best I can. Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff, my website. I just try to keep it all up to par. And, I try different videos like of me performing, music videos, horseshoeing videos, because you just never know what's going to hit, So.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. That's also like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Trying to go viral. For sure.
Yeah.
So one of the questions we like to ask our guests is, what does being human mean to you?
Being human, just, trying to do what's right and the way, God wants us to be, and just working hard, being honest, and staying true to your faith. I always made God should come first, family, her. And I always tried to have that. I don't ever want to let my music override the my faith or my family, and that's important to me. And that kind of goes with a lot of people ask me why I've never moved to Nashville. I've been in and out of Nashville so much the last 10, 12 years. And it's, I think back in the 80s, 90s, before social media and all the technology nowadays, I think you used to have to live there in the 80s, 90s to get discovered. You had to go down on Broadway and play the bars and da-da-da. But these days, the last 10, 12 years, I've seen so many of my friends go there and live there. And a lot of them leave in a few years because they can't handle it's oversaturated. It's very cutthroat.
Oh, I bet.
Money driven. I have a lot of friends. I mean, they're super talented, good looking people, and they kind of, if you don't have money or you're not, the political part, a lot of times you just get stuck dead in the water. And so that's what's kept me from really moving there full time. If I got some kind of like a publishing deal, obviously a record deal, I would have to probably go back and forth more or eventually move there. But I decided to stay here and do the independent thing, which there's a lot of people that do pretty well that are from here, especially even just in California. Olivia Harms is another one. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's Oregon based, but she lives here. Yeah, she actually lives in Chico. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but she does pretty well. I mean, she's a regional national artist, and I've talked to her. She's the same thing, sometimes these days it doesn't really matter as much where you live.
Yeah, that's a good point with all the technology.
That's the benefit of, I guess, social media, is that you can stay,
not uproot your family.
Unless you get the deal, the money, the shows that warrant that type of move, but you can stay where you're at.
Yeah, because the Broadway thing, I think that's a thing to get better. These days, because I've played Broadway a lot. I mean, I've done it enough to know where that, if you're okay just being down on Broadway, you play bar slots, which are like 4-hour shifts. You have to play all covers, so you're not really getting yourself out there. You're getting better. It is a great way to get better, but a lot of people get stuck there, and you just you kind of start sounding the same. You get homogenized with other artists. That's my opinion on it. And I have friends that do it, but you can make a living doing it. I just think that it's like a good thing to learn how to get better. Then you got to get away from it.
I did not know that it was all covers.
You think about it, because when we're there, we went last year for the first time to Nashville, and there's like, they're asking for like suggestions, right? It's like they're not because most people going to Nashville don't live there. They're tourists, and they want to hear their songs that they're excited about. They didn't go to watch Chad play his originals. They went because they want to hear the song. They want to go. They want to drink their beer and listen to songs that they know.
Exactly,
it's like a jukebox.
And you're like the human jukebox up there. And so when I go there, I usually stick to like the riders rounds. The local is one of my favorite spots, and that's where I can go. They do 3 to 4 1-hour rounds, and there's 3 artists per round, I think 3 to 4, and you just play 3 or 4 of your best originals and share them with the crowd. And people go there to hear original music. So the local's great.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I have done Whiskey Jam. That's really hard to get into, but so that's kind of my thoughts on Nashville. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, we went to the Bluebird and got to watch the 3 artists that they're all on The Voice, I think.
Yeah.
And that was cool how intimate it was.
Yeah, that small setting.
Yeah, that was that was a really fun show. Okay, let's see. What matters to you outside of your work?
Yeah, just my faith, my family, and doing stuff with them, keeping that balance. And the music's hard. I mean, people that have done it, would side with me how hard it can be sometimes, and how to stay motivated and not get discouraged. Unfortunately, I've had friends that were super talented that just got discouraged early on, and some of them don't even do it anymore. And for me, I've had to find things to like. To help stay encouraged, and sometimes go away from doing music a little bit, but still doing it. And I think it's a good thing not to put all your eggs in one basket all the time. You gotta for me, on a personal thing, I started doing 2 years ago. I started doing kickboxing twice a week. And then I read. I used to read a lot more, and I kind of got burned out from college, and I hated reading for a while. But those are 2 things that helped me. Yeah. If you've been to college for 5 years, you know how much reading I did. Finally, 2 years ago, I just decided, man, after doing this over a decade, I need a little bit of I need to do some other things. And I was thinking of doing something else, like obviously going to the gym or playing golf. Playing golf wasn't active enough for me. I'm like, I need something a little more active. And so
from golf to kickboxing,
that's quite the swing.
Yeah.
Well, I actually really never even did golf. I was considering it, and I'm like, no, I need something a little more. So then people were saying, how about jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, that might be too, well, my wife and her friend were doing kickboxing, and they kind of said, why don't you come with us sometime? And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. And so finally one day I went, and I'm kind of like, this is kind of cool, and started doing it. And so now I do it twice a week, and then I read. And I think what I'm getting at is those are good things to do away from music sometimes.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to do that. You can't just practice all the time. And because a lot of people, I mean, I hate to say it, they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs or whatever. And so sometimes if you're getting overwhelmed, I think it's good to do other things. So.
I bet your wife can still kick your butt, though, huh?
Kickboxing?
Her and her, well, not right now, maybe because she's pregnant, but.
Well, 9 months pregnant, you got it.
Yeah, I have a chance now. But her and her friend, when I first started, I had to really try to I really could barely keep up with them. But it's a good thing, and then of course, anytime I get to go hunting and fishing, I do. I don't get to do it as much as I want, but I really, really enjoy that. And so.
Yeah, you're kind of bringing up a point that I make with a lot of our cornhole players, because they kind of do the same thing where they just get like hyper focused on cornhole and wanting to be the best cornhole player, and then they lose because they get burnt out. It's not fun anymore. And I always tell them, you have to remember that you're more than a cornhole player. Like, that can't be your entire identity, is just
Exactly.
I play cornhole. And I'm talking about people that aren't doing it even professionally. So
you just start weak.
There's people that are like really, really enthusiastic about playing, and they identify as like, I'm a cornhole player. And it's like, you're also a son and a brother and a dad and and all these other things. You're not just this one-dimensional being.
Yes.
No, it's good to have a balance. And sometimes the horseshoeing's helped a little bit in my music career, because it's funny, when I was shoeing, I used to do anything I could to get out of shoeing horses growing up, because my dad's a farrier, and I was like, I don't want to do this, and da da da. And then now, like, some of my friends that are super successful back in Nashville are like, you shoot horses? And they think it's the coolest thing. I'm like, really? And my friend CJ Solar, he's written 3 #1 hits, and he's still trying to get an artist deal. That's how hard it is to get an artist deal. I mean, he's a good looking dude, great voice. He wrote Up Down for Morgan Wallen. That's how famous of a songwriter he is.
Okay.
And 2 other #1 hits, and he's just like, man, I still can't get an artist deal. And we're talking about it, and he's like, one day he told me, he's like, why don't you utilize your horseshoeing in your music? And I'm like, really? I'm like, I like to keep that separate. I like people just to think that I'm a singer. And he's like, no, start posting your horseshoeing videos with your music in the background. And those do get attention. I've been posting those a lot more lately, and so I've been listening to them, and so
because people don't know anything about it,
or about you, right? If you're just a country singer, then there's millions of them. But if you're
setting yourself apart,
you're like, you also do these other cool things, especially something as unique as that. Like, I don't know anybody else that does that. So you're really creating an identity for yourself that people can go, oh, Chad, he's the one that shoes horses. That's an identity on top of the fact that you write music and sing and play guitar and all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
It's my family. I came from both sides. We're kind of ranchers type of people, and so like my grandparents, my great grandparents, they all did that, even just like as part of their job. Both of my grandpas could shoot horses. They didn't do it for a living, but when they worked on ranches, they had to be able to shoot horses, and they could do hay, they could run cattle. And then my dad, he always shot a little bit on the side, and really learned how to be a top-notch horseshoer. And so it's kind of been in the family, and I feel blessed to be able to do it. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. See,
yep,
we learn something every day.
That is what this is about: is to get to know who you are beyond just the fact that you're a voice, right? And really get to know you as a human, and
not just the performer, Chad.
Not just the performer, because we know as performers we have to put on a performance, and so. As authentic as you're trying to be, you're still doing a version of yourself that's slightly different than the version you would be just sitting in your living room hanging out with your buddies. So it's fun to get to peel back that layer. But you mentioned that you have some shows coming up, so let us know what's going on.
Yeah, people can go to chadbushnell.com and pretty much keep my shows posted at all times, and my Spotify page, Chad Bushnell Music. I keep my dates pretty much updated on there. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the Red Bluff Roundup April 18th, Saturday. I'm super stoked for that. So, have you guys been to the Red Bluff Roundup?
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's not.
I'm not. I don't listen to country music. I know that's probably horrible for you to hear right now.
It's okay. I listen to enough for the both of us.
She's the country and I'm the hip hop.
Oh, gotcha. Well, April 18th, Saturday, I'm going to be opening for Corey Kent at the Red Bluff Roundup. So that'd be a good one. I'm also headlining Thursday night of the Silver Dollar Fair in Chico. So that's close.
Yeah.
May 21st, Thursday. Yeah. So, and then if you want any information on some of the festival stuff this summer, the Kennedy Music Festival, which is near Sonora, I'm doing that. That's a pretty fun deal. That's one of my favorite shows of the year that we do. And so, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll do this is my most streamed song, Whiskey to Work. I'll go ahead and do that. I think it requires some sort of tune. I got that double barrel vision. Well, my money home drinking. I've had it for a minute, and I don't plan on quitting. Anything well, sure as hell, don't have to put that whiskey to work. I keep it fifth in my toolbox, 40 plus happy hour. It's Sunday morning service, and a higher power. Take a little high school athlete, sing a little song for the valley, heads down the parade. Hell, hey, I put that whiskey to work. Take that bourbon to church, baptize me, babe. I'm a drinking machine, get up so it hurts. Makes me quenching my thirst, sweat down through, rock my shirt. I put that whiskey to work.
There he
Thanks,
is.
Chad. Enjoy your day.
Congratulations on that baby.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay.
Bye. Time for the Human Hotline. I feel like I'm often being judged by my weight, but I think that might be a little bit of me judging myself and dealing with insecurities. I try not to let being overweight be an identity, but those thoughts are hard to thwart. Oh, I love thwart. Don't you hear that word often? I want to work out and lose weight, but it's hard to find the motivation to get to the gym or eat responsibly. I'm not destined to be skinny, but I sure have felt better about myself when I was about 70 pounds lighter. How real?
Right. Yeah.
How real of you, by the way, to put this in. Thank you. This is like one of my favorite things to talk about is weight. And it's a very nuanced topic because we live in a society that culturally judges weight.
Yes.
We would be more comfortable as a culture if everybody was fit.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
I mean, we're not supposed to be.
No.
But that is the kind of like when someone, especially if someone's obese, there's like this part of our culture that wants to get very involved in that person's life.
Yes.
It's very strange. And I'm not numb to it. Like I've had that thought too. Like, oh man, especially being in the wellness world, like, oh, I could really help you. Like, who am I to say they need my help, right?
Well, it's kind of the thing. Sometimes you're like, why do I care?
Why do I care?
Like,
yeah,
if they're good.
Yeah, and people will get on, I know for some people, oh, well, it's costing money to, our culture and our hospitals, and because there's all these things about how obesity and people being overweight costs money to all of us in some way, shape, or form. But hello, every human has something that's costing the rest of us money. Like it's impossible not to.
No.
So I don't think it's a valid reason. And that's not actually what it's about. We're just using that as like a convenient way to judge.
Right.
Basically.
It's costing us money.
It's costing us money. It's not that I care about how they look. Like, no, you do though. And that's normal and human, normal in this culture.
Or their health.
Yeah. But who are we to say that they're unhealthy too? And that's really where a lot, like the health at every size movement, I love parts of and I don't love parts of. I love the idea that you cannot judge someone's health by their weight. Some people everyone has different body sizes.
Right.
And what would be overweight for you might not be overweight for them. So we can't assume. And we can't assume their numbers. There's tons of research that shows that people that you would even label as obese actually have all healthy numbers.
Well, there's the skinny fat people.
And then there's the opposite of that.
People that are skinny who are
very
not
unhealthy.
Healthy.
Yes. And then the part of health at every size that I don't like is that they say you should just be I want to use the proper word. It's not acceptance. It's not content. It's like basically give up. You should give up on trying to lose weight. Yeah, it's just the way you are. And that's what I have a problem with.
Oh, yeah. Like you're just the big boned thing.
And if you are and you're happy, and that's great. But if you're not, to tell someone that it's bad for them to desire anything other than what they are is a struggle with any topic. Like there's no part of myself that I can say I'm fully done. Like, just like, oh yeah, no, I'm good there. No, there's always room for growth and improvement. So that's kind of where I butt heads with the health at every size movement. And they've butt heads with me being like, when I've posted content on weight loss and they're coming back at me. And I'm like, no, like I still believe that if you take care of yourself and have the desire to lose weight and it happens and you do it in a healthy way, that is perfectly fine. But it's when you sacrifice your well-being to be thin.
Yes.
That now we have dysfunction.
I was to say, and there is dysfunction running rampant right now.
I mean, there always has been. It's just
this is the newest thing.
The GLP-1 craze that we're in right now is to me the most extreme. Now, I've been in the weight loss industry since 2006, so I've watched quite a few fads come and go. And I've never seen as many weight loss drug commercials in my life.
It's insane.
It's absolutely insane. and so not okay.
No, and I'm shocked because I know so many people taking it.
Yep.
And they're open about it. And they're open about side effects.
I know.
Terrible, crazy, and they don't care.
I just read, I know you like that podcast, Jelly Roll's wife.
Oh, yeah, Bunny.
Yeah, she just posted that it made her suicidal.
I just saw that.
It's crazy. So she was like, absolutely not. But anyways, not to go on a GLP-1. God, that would be a whole episode in itself.
That's a whole other thing.
But back to our human hotline. Judging ourselves, first of all, I think that we have to start by realizing that we don't control our weight. That sentence is where the judgment comes from. Because if you think that you control your weight and then your weight is something that you don't want it to be, then you have no choice but to judge yourself. Because you're like, I did this. Now, I'm not saying you can't have habits that should be healthier for your own well-being, but that's not about weight. That's about health. So we have to separate the two things. Could you be doing things for your health? Always. You can always eat healthier. You can always move but more. You can always, whatever, rest more, whatever your things are. But if we separate that from weight and you live in the world that you don't control your weight, that weight is just something that happens as a result of how you're living to a degree, and the rest of it is completely out of your control, then it should help remove the judgment. And it makes it easier to exercise and eat healthy because now you're not doing it for weight. You're just doing it because it feels good. And regardless of what happens with the scale,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. If some people, if you had health issues and you were changing habits in your life and those numbers, whatever issues got better, but the scale never changed,
would you keep going?
Would you keep going? I think is a question for some people.
That's always my GLP-1 question. Would you stay on GLP-1 with all the side effects if all your numbers improved but the scale?
Yeah.
How much do these matter?
Right.
I don't think it matters that much.
I think for a lot of people.
I don't think you deal with the side effects unless there was a physical change. And how human of us, right? Yeah. Like this is the stuff we have to be real with ourselves about. But the truth of it is that while, yes, we would feel better lighter, especially when we're talking about obesity, would that feel better?
This person said they do feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question you would feel better. But you would also feel better just by doing the habits, regardless of the weight.
It's true.
So you have to take the focus off of the weight and say, I just want to feel better. Feeling better means I move, I eat healthy, I rest, I play, all the things. All the things that you have fun, you're present, you're slowing down, like all the things that we need as a human, all those things make you feel better. If you're putting all of the feel better on what the scale says or what your clothes say, then you're kind of lying to yourself because let's pretend I could wave a magic wand and you'd be 75 pounds lighter, which is what it says here. But you weren't eating healthy. You weren't exercising. You were just kind of a blob on the couch, but you were just a lighter blob.
Right.
Do you really think you'd be happier?
Right.
For a moment you would, because you'd be like, oh my goodness, look at me. Yeah. I'm wearing different clothes. Everyone's going to notice. And that would last the same amount of time as when you get a new car and it's exciting.
And then it wears
off. The real part that feels good is the stuff you do.
Right.
To quote unquote get the outcome. So you let go of the outcome because you don't control that in anything. We never control outcomes. All we can control is the stuff in front of us.
And our behaviors.
And whatever happens. You have to let it go. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think people, you have to start small.
Totally.
Because people get crazy. Like, new year, new me. And
run 5 miles.
Yeah, and it's like, how about we just try drinking some water instead of soda for the week, and let's see how that goes. Because
how about swap one soda?
Yeah, or your coffee in the morning that's loaded with whatever. I just think people should start small, because if you can change those small habits, the next one becomes a little bit easier, and then the next one's a little bit easier.
And what you're saying is kind of the opposite of the way people think, because we think set the expectations so high so that I'm forced to meet them. But actually, the way that humans work is the lower you set the expectations, the more times you meet and exceed. Which one do you think feels better?
Exactly.
Exceeding your expectations or never meeting them?
And I think too, you have to, with your habits, people have to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are not honest with themselves of how much they're actually eating that's not good. Well, and we're really, I think, stupid in what, like, the pyramid of what's good for us to eat and what's not.
We can't listen to what's being given to us. You have to listen to your body. It's going to tell you. But what you're saying about us not being honest with ourselves, it's not even on purpose. It's because so much of our life is on autopilot and mindless. So we're not trying to ignore. It's not like someone's like consciously like, I'm going to ignore that handful of M&Ms I ate. They just literally were unconscious when they did it. And so it takes a ton of presence and self-awareness to say, I'm going to be mindful and awake and aware and present throughout the day so I can get an accurate assessment of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Then get an accurate assessment of what I actually want and need, because how do you know what you want or need if you don't even know where you are? And then you just very gently move in the direction slowly. So I would say, if you want to work out, not to lose weight, you cannot attach those things. Your working out has to just be because
strength,
endurance,
makes you feel better,
nervous system regulation,
sleep
feels
better.
good, all the things, all the amazing things that it does. I work out 5-6 days a week. I don't think I've lost 1 pound in 2.5 years, and it doesn't change my motivation to working out. But if I attach those two things, I would have quit month 3. You know what I mean? There's just no way I would have kept going. It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, my scale doesn't. I mean, it shifts our water weight as a woman.
Yeah.
You bounce, but
sure,
you have to, like, mine's for strength, like being a girl.
Yeah.
Like, and as I'm getting older, like I tell my friends that don't work out, I'm like, you're gonna be an old lady on the floor.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be, you can't pick yourself up because you're so weak. You have to be at least push yourself up a little bit.
Plus, like, most of the time, women are outliving the men. We got to be able to open our own pickle jars.
I know.
They're going to be left behind.
Stuff to do. I can't wait on a man.
We got stuff to do. But no, start small. Starts really small. So, like, I recommend 10 minutes a day of your goal. Actually, you could even take it a step behind that. You could say your goal is to put on your exercise clothes every day. Whatever happens. Then it's like, I'm going to cook 1 meal a week, so you wherever you're at, barely push that, and then barely push that, and then barely push that. It's all going to happen in its own time. But if you're not attaching it to weight loss, there's no urgency, there's no rush. It's just you making better, more mindful choices every single day, slowly. And who cares if it takes 5 years?
Well, and like you said, start small. You have to figure out, do you set a daily goal or a weekly goal? You have to decide what works for you.
Totally.
And you have to be able to adjust. Some people like going to the gym. Some people like working out at home.
Yeah.
Some people like to do classes. So you have to find what works for you.
Don't give up, because if somebody told me that the only way to be healthy was to go running, I would be doing nothing.
Oh my God, no.
So you don't get attached to, like, it has to look like this. It's just like, keep finding your thing. There's so many ways.
So many things.
Yeah, there's so many foods. There's so many exercise routines. Like you said, gym, home, classes, I mean, so many. So there's just no reason to settle for something you don't. I'm not saying you're going to love it every day. I don't love it every day. But I don't like...
I never regret it, though.
Never regret it.
You will never, like, if you start with that 10 minutes, you might even stay longer.
You might. And if you don't, it's
sometimes
okay.
maybe only make 12 minutes, 15, whatever. But you will not regret that when you're done with it. You're not going to be like, oh, God,
why did I do this to myself?
10 minutes. No one's going to do that.
That was stupid.
Well, and I don't know what this person's issue, like, food-wise, self-control. I know I don't have self-control over certain foods, so I don't bring them in my house.
So I would say the opposite, because when I had issues with self-control with food, I also, you're talking about an avoidance strategy. And it's especially hard when you have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times the foods that you wouldn't want to buy, you have to buy.
Yeah. And then
so avoidance is a strategy for some personalities, and it totally works, and you won't feel restricted. So that probably works for you.
It does.
It does not work for me. If I avoid something, it makes me want it more. And then I avoid as long as possible, but then there's an inevitable encounter with it. You go to someone's house or whatever, and then I'm out of control. I was. Yeah. So if you're like Stephanie, then you could use avoidance. If you're like me, then you have to face it. You have to buy it in abundance, and then face it, and then realize, oh my God, I will stop eating it if I just stay mindful. Like, I will actually get sick of eating pints of ice cream. But you have to, like, show yourself, because it's the fear of it, like, because you're restricting it and you make it bad, so you want it more, and then you're mindless when you eat it. So it's like you're in this cycle. But the minute that you say, this is neutral. It's not bad. I can have as much as I want. I'm going to buy 16 tubs of it and put it in the freezer so there's no scarcity. I can go eat 1, I can eat 2, I can eat 4. It's all there.
Yeah.
And you sit down and you actually just start eating it with awareness. You'll probably overeat the first, maybe second time, and then you're not going to want it for a long time after that.
Well, I used to do, what I still do is, like say there's something, say pizza. I'm thinking about pizza. I will give myself so many days, like 5 days.
Do I still want it?
Do I still want it? Or I'll say by the weekend, I'm like, if I still want pizza this weekend, then I'm getting pizza.
I like that.
So I kind of do that with treat stuff. Like,
so I'm influenced by commercials. You see the pizza commercial, like, I want pizza.
Right. So I try to, like, same with like a donut. Like if you think about a donut, you see a donut, I'm like, okay, if by Sunday morning I still want that donut, I'm getting that donut.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a restriction.
Yeah, but you're still, you're not restricting. You're just saying not today.
Yes.
You're saying, is this truly what I want? And if it's truly what I want, let's have it. But if it's not, let's give myself like a second to decide if it's really what I want. So yeah, a lot of mindfulness, a lot of kindness, a lot of starting slow. Gotta be not for weight. You gotta let go of the weight loss thing. That's either gonna happen or not happen. You just gotta do the things that make you feel good and just hope that happens.
And I think you can't beat yourself up if you have a bad day.
Yes.
Because we all do it.
And you're human.
We don't work out. We didn't drink the water.
Yep. Oh,
we scrolled too much. We didn't
drink too much champagne.
Yeah. And then some.
And then some.
But you can't beat yourself up because.
And it's one day.
It's one day.
Yeah.
We still have 6 days this week.
Yeah.
Lord willing.
Lord willing.
And so start small.
Yeah, I like it. All right, great question. That's the end of our show today. We'll see you guys all next time.